test of that 95 Blazer, we took his fuel mileage to over 20 miles per gallon.
Wow.
11.3 to over 20 miles per gallon.
That's just a little bit over the 10% that they promise.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As long as you can under-promise, over-perform, that's what these pills are all about. So here's a kid that's just doing what I asked him to do, put a pill in the tank, and then fill it up and just keep using it. And instead of getting 155 gallons per tank, now he's getting 298 gallons per tank. Now, when you're paying $4 for that fuel, that makes a big difference.
That's a lot of cash.
And people don't even know about these things. So that's really why I wanted to spend some time with you today. If we have a proven technology that's EPA registered, by the way, EPA registration doesn't guarantee anything, but it does protect you that it can't harm your vehicle or void your warranty.
Warranty safe. So all you people out there that still have a newer car, this is the prime time to start using this, because the older your car, the more carbon you have built up, and the longer it takes the pills to actually start to work. I just recently bought an 08 F-150, and we had 35,000 miles on it. So maybe I had a little bit of carbon built up. Mike, we first got the truck and we were getting 16, and that's kind of what I thought, because I have an 04, you know, and I thought, well, okay, you know, that's about average. And then we put it on pills. We just drove back and forth to Oklahoma, 20 miles a gallon.
There you go. That's four more miles per gallon. Put the dollars to that.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. It's way more than the cost of the pill.
That's right.
And we have figured it out. You put a $2 pill in your tank and save about $6 in fuel. When fuel's at $3, at $4, it's even more of a savings. And I just think that if people get to know about this, you know, they're going to start using it. Now let me talk about another aspect of this. The emissions quotient. In other words, it is important not to screw up the environment we live in. Let me put it that way.
Sure.
I happen to be somewhat green-minded, but one of the reasons I got into this was my son's Blazer, just on 2 pills on the Blazer, we reduced his hydrocarbons, CO2, NOx emissions, the bad boy of emissions, by more than 30%.
So what you're telling me is you can, because in Illinois we have to pass emissions, and so you're saying that vehicles that potentially have emission problems, this could help clear some of that problem up too.
If you can't get your car, now I'm not suggesting this as a way of operating, but it is true that if you can't pass an emissions test, you're a mechanic, how much does it cost to get the car properly to pass the emissions test?
Well, it depends on what's wrong with it. I mean, you could have a cat problem, which these fuel pills help clear up cat problems because it breaks down carbon.
Cat problems, what's that?
Catalytic converter. You know, EGR problems. If you have an EGR sticking, this will help clear some of that problem up too.
$2 and you'll pass the emissions test.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And, you know, let's say $2 to $4. Maybe you need 2 pills, 2 tanks of gas. And go take the emissions test and you'll pass it?
Sure.
So that is an application people do use this for, is to pass emissions tests. But that's not my suggestion. This does not tune up a car.
No.
Don't get me wrong. And let's talk about technically how this works. Well, since we mentioned emissions, we took a 2007 Camry. 2000, I'm thinking even older than that. But whatever, 1997 Camry. Whatever it was, it had 100,000 miles on it. And you wouldn't think that car would be very good emission-wise. The older they get, the worse they get for coughing all this stuff up into the environment.
More carbon built up, less fuel efficiency.
So
gas going out the tailpipe.
What happened here was 2 years later, he had to get another emissions tag. This was Missouri. And he started on these pills 3 months before he had to get the tag. So we got him on the pills to improve his fuel mileage. But he goes into the emissions group 2 years later, now 130,000 miles on the car. You wouldn't think there would be less emissions
you think
on a 10-year-old car. You'd think there'd be more. 90% less hydrocarbons.
Wow.
90% less NOx emissions. 90% less CO2. All the stuff that screws up the air that we breathe, we're gone. Now, why is that? This is a product, the technical name is ferrocene.
Ferrocene.
And I'm sure you've looked it up before you used it. It's been used in NASA in the 70s to clean burn the solid-state fuel rockets.
That's right.
They couldn't have any residue coming out of the burning of those fuel rockets, so they used ferrocene to clean burn it. And all it is a catalyst. It melts in the fuel, and then it goes into the combustion chamber.
Now, it doesn't change the fuel.
No, it's not a detergent. It's not a solvent. It's not something that's going to change the molecular structure of the fuel. All you have is a little pill that melts in the fuel. The fuel becomes a carrier of the product,
All right.
and carries it into the combustion chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you being a mechanic know better than I, when that spark plug goes off, or that glow plug in a diesel truck goes off, it ignites that fuel. And if you take fuel with ferrocene in it, best example I can give you is an experiment that was done. They took fuel into a laboratory, and they ignited regular fuel in a 100-foot-long fuel tube, and it took 7 seconds to go from one side to the other.
100 feet.
100 feet. 7 seconds to burn normally untreated fuel. They took ferrocene-treated fuel in that same environment, lit it, took 2 seconds to burn 100 feet.
Did you hear that?
You see what I'm talking about?
It burns a lot faster and hotter, which, if you're a car nut like me, I don't have a lot of car nuts watching right now. Car nuts know, bigger the burn, faster the burn, more power. More power, less you wasted fuel, moves the car down the road faster, better MPG, right?
Why not put something in your vehicle that will make your fuel burn more efficiently?
Sure, yeah, why not?
And that's all it does. Now, what happens when that happens, because hydrocarbon is unburnt fuel going through to the catalytic converter or to the DPF unit in a big truck, that's black smoke.
Black smoke.
So if you have a diesel truck or a diesel pickup truck or a diesel car and you're seeing a lot of that black smoke when you start it, this pill will eliminate the black smoke.
Yep, takes the soot out of it.
Because you don't have that unburnt hydrocarbon going through the exhaust manifold to get out into the environment.
Right. And if you have a catalytic converter, all that black smoke, all that carb is just building up inside of it.
And if you're a trucker out there, which we work with quite a few, and have one of those 2007 and newer trucks, you have what's called a DPF unit on that truck. And you want to have problems, you want to have EGR problems, you want to have DPF problems in a truck, try and burn diesel fuel with a lot of the unburnt hydrocarbons going through that unit.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what clogs those trucks up and stops them down the side of the road.
That's right.
And we make a lot of money selling this product in a crumb form to the trucking industry, that we have guys calling us all the time saying, I'm driving down the road here, this is my 1997 Freightliner that is always smoking on me, and I'm looking at the stack and there's no smoke coming out of the stack and there's no residue on the stack. It's an amazing product when you put it in the right application. So, and I noticed you have on the background here race cars.
Yeah.
We have a race car engine that uses this and wins races with it.
Is that right?
Now that's a dirt track car. You can't take it into NASCAR because they check the fuel.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put ferrocene in the fuel, it'll give you more power. And why is that, Steve? I'll ask you, the mechanic. Why does it give you more power when you put ferrocene in the fuel?
Well, what I've seen this product do is it builds a nice, I like to call it ceramic coating. That's the easiest way that some of our viewers will recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know what ceramic really does, if you have a casserole dish at home, it gets hot. It stays hot. And not only does it stay hot, but it's nice and smooth. And that dissipates the heat across that combustion chamber and gives you a better glow. If you're in a diesel, it gives you a better combustion area. And it just puts more downforce on that piston.
That's exactly what people don't understand, is if you shape that combustion correctly, it gives you more pressure on the downstroke of the power stroke.
That's right.
And when you have 30% more pressure, not beyond the tolerance, you're not going to hurt anything by getting that pressure, it gives you horsepower.
That's right.
And all of a sudden you put a little $2 pill in the tank and your car picks up and it's acting like it's a brand new car.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's just, when you get a venue like this that could push this out when fuel's at $4 a gallon, I could see where people would say, I'll try that.
Sure.
And
why not?
How do you get these pills?
Well, you can go to my website at testdrivetech.com, and down at the bottom there's a link that says, do you want to save on fuel? Click on that link, and that'll bounce you over to just to a screen where you can buy some fuel pills.
And there you go. And I just think if you're willing to try this, remember, they're EPA registered.
EPA registered.
Meaning it can't harm your vehicle or void your warranty.
That's right.
And the manufacturer of these pills, C&S Enterprises, puts a $1 million insurance policy on any user.
$1 million. So what do you have to lose?
So if you have a car worth less than $1 million, and you put these, and you can prove these pills screwed up your car, you're going to get a brand new car anyway. Mm-hmm. Now, we've been operating for 4 years. We've never had a call on the insurance policy. We can send you a copy of it if you're interested. But we're insured, we're EPA registered, and fuel's at $4.
$4. So why not try something that you might save $1, right?
It makes a little bit of sense.
You know, you were talking about black soot, you know, and stuff going out the tailpipe. And my 04 F-150 has a 4.6 liter in it. Mm-hmm. And when it was brand new, it never smoked. You know, it didn't ever have any problems at all. And it doesn't, you know, billow black smoke like a diesel. But I've noticed between car washes that it used to have this nice black, brownish color that would form on the bumper. And I know a lot of other guys out there with F-150s have the same problem. And it's not just 04s. You know, it was from 97 and up. And when I first got my 08, same problem. And what this pill does, and that's what proved it to me, regardless if I save fuel or not, it proves to me that my car is running better because it doesn't have a whole bunch of junk coming out the tailpipe. And now what I have this nice, very light brown color. Matter of fact, very, very light. And it just, you know, forms up right there, but it's real easy to wipe off. All you got to do is just wipe it right off. And that's what it's doing to your piston. It's cleaning all that black carbon out of there. And it leaves that nice little brown coating, and, you know, burns nice and hot.
And we suggest people do that is get a carbon out from an auto store. Mm-hmm. You know, before you use these pills, if you have a lot of miles on the car, these will take the carbon out of the car. Mm-hmm. I mean,
it just takes a little bit of time.
It takes a little time. Mm-hmm. And what the problem with a product like this, if you don't see a result, like a vitamin, you'll want to put more in the car.
Yeah, you don't want to overdose them, I know that's for sure.
Every one of these is actually got a dosage right on the back of it. So you want to use less of this pill than more of this pill.
Gotcha. So let's see here. 6 to 10 gallons, which, I don't know, does your hybrid have a 10-gallon tank?
I have a 10-gallon tank.
Are you serious? You have a 10-gallon tank in your hybrid?
I put a half a pill.
Half a pill for 10 gallons.
For 10 gallons.
11 to 15 is one capsule. And if you have a 20-gallon tank, you should only use one cap. And over that, up to 30 is when you start using two, right?
Well, it's whatever it says on the pack, but you know, you just got to play with your
directions are right there on the back.
You got to play with your car to get it working right. But just think about that. A 10-gallon tank. I'm getting about 38 miles per gallon on my new hybrid, much less than my older hybrid. But I put the pills in there. Now I'm getting 43 miles per gallon, and the car's running better.
Wow, you're almost paying your car payment by saving gas.
And I know I'm saving more than $2.
Yeah.
I have Dr. Quiblis uses these pills. He's getting 218 miles more per tank in his Mercedes.
Wow, what kind of Mercedes do you have?
It's an M80 or something. It's a newer Mercedes. Okay. But he puts these pills in there and gets 218 miles more per tank.
Wow. And
he's a big proponent of these pills. But anyway, what my feeling is this. We have a problem with this environment. If we can do anything to help, we should do our part.
I agree.
And if it's just a matter of getting better fuel mileage and helping the environment, I think it's worth trying these things. Now, because we've been doing this much longer than most people, the pills morphed into a trucking product.
Yep, that's right. The crumbs, right?
We have a crumb. I didn't bring some today, but it's actually the same ferrocene in a crumb form.
Okay.
And the reason that is the truckers have to put more in 300 gallons than you have to put in 50 gallons.
It would take a lot of these to fill up
a lot of these
300 gallons of diesel.
And really the reason we put them in crumb form, this is not soluble in water. Mm-hmm. This is it's soluble in fuel. Mm-hmm. If you're using biodiesel with less than 50% bio in it, you'll still get a result. But fuel is what it takes to melt this. Mm-hmm. And a trucker who's got water in the bottom of his tank and puts a solid fuel in, the fuel will just sift to the bottom of the tank, get into the water, and not dissolve. So we had to make the product into a crumb form where it would dissolve quicker.
Which was probably easier.
Well, it's less expensive because you don't have to make a pill out of it, to tell you the truth. But then the truckers get into this. The independent truckers love it because they can get into this, measure it out, 1 gram per 60 gallons, or 1 gram per 100 gallons on a newer truck. But you you have. Do they have that video, by the way?
Yeah. Guys, if you could cue up that video for Jerry Lang.